Stay fresh, kids and squids. It's time for more Splatoon with BrainScratch comms.
And if you're not going
And
to use it immediately, put it in the freezer until appropriately ready.
the freezer. No, fuck that. I hate being cold. No, just
Frozen squid.
leave us on the counter. We won't rot too
I've
fast.
actually tried calamari at a Japanese buffet place. I had some free coupons too for like,
Yeah, it's like
my birthday last year.
Yeah,
And,
the game over image should just be a platter of sushi.
Well, actually,
yeah.
that's a kind of a morbid thing that I saw online. Is Callie and Marie, the Squid sisters who do the news updates. They they have sushi on their heads. That's kind of fucked up.
And th-
No, you see,
wasn't there also a line of dialogue where they kind of mentioned that they're delicious?
no, but you see, this is a cannibalistic society where the winners conquer the losers and turn them into dinner and/or trophies. So,
I thought I just exploded and then reformed at a spawn point without.
And that's
any
all for
issue.
today, kids and squids. And don't forget, it puts the lotion on the skin. And it
Wait
does what
a
it's
minute.
told.
Stay fresh, as in stay good for eating. Oh,
Yeah.
oh.
now you're getting it.
Oh, I
Doing
hate this
pro-
game now.
Anyway, yeah.
It likes
See,
macaroni and cheese.
Man, just getting around the place really looks fun to me.
yeah, movement. It's kind of weird how movement in this game is very fluid as well, because turning into a squid is just the left trigger, whereas the right trigger is shoot. And so you can do so. Just moving around is very seamless most of the time. And another good thing is that you can hold down the left button to stay in squid form, and then press the trigger button to shoot. And then you will be shooting as long as you hold the trigger button, and as soon as you let go of the trigger button, you'll go
pop
back.
back down. It's basically a cover system, except
Oh
it's
no!
also a transportation.
You mood.
And
Yeah.
that's actually really intriguing. It's actually one of the first times in recent memory I can think of a shooting game doing something really new with its gameplay mechanics.
Yeah, the only thing you have to remember, though, is that just because you're invisible, well, mostly invisible, you're a lot harder to see when you're in ink. You're not invincible. Like, if you get hit if somebody hits you while you're in squid form in ink, you will still die. So it
Yes.
just you're actually almost more vulnerable when you're in squid form. I don't think you
Yeah.
take less damage, but
You gotta be smart about how you use it in multiplayer, obviously.
Yeah. And to go back to what you were saying something earlier, Lewis, about how they're doing something new with where pretty much like old as dirt mechanics since I would say the Wolfenstein in the 90s. It's so new in everybody's mind that for a while people were unsure of how to play Splatoon correctly.
oh no,
And
PAX East.
yeah, I was just about to bring up PAX East. PAX East, a lot of people, except myself and Ted, seem to understand that the goal of the game is to cover everything with as much ink as possible, not necessarily killing your opponent. Because everyone gets guns, they shoot stuff, they think, kill, kill, kill. It's like, no, Splatoon, you have to cover the area in ink. That's the point of the game.
Well, that's not to say that you should.
Can I kill while doing that?
Yes. Well, I was just about to say, like, you should kill enemies, but only, like, it's often a better idea to just kind of run behind a guy and let him think that you're just out of the way so that you can get behind him and then paint his entire base. It's like
Well, the thing is that you can kill the guys, but on your way to said guy, when you cover the floor in ink.
Even in the context of killing other players, though, covering the area in ink does give you a significant tactical advantage.
Yeah, but
But,
in the main gameplay mode in this game, which is called Turf War, it's not kills don't mean jack shit. You could have 20 kills, and if your team has less percentage of the ground covered than the other team, you still lose.
Oh yeah, but
you lose.
that's not entirely a new multiplayer concept either, because it's basically built on the same concept as base capturing, a capture the flag kind of game, except you're doing it with paint guns
Yeah.
instead of just.
I
standing
do
in a
wish
circle.
like those other games. I do wish like those other games, so like the Call of Duties, where I wish at least kills counted something for you. Like maybe you earned a bit more money if you got a lot more kills.
Well, here's the thing: is if you kill an enemy, they splat in your color ink, which does a lot.
Yeah, and they're out of the way for
Well,
a few
you
seconds. but
get a lot of points.
it's one of those. I know it's not the point, but I just wish you could get some kind of value of it rather than because I've had matches where I've killed a lot of people, but it didn't matter
Well,
for
maybe
craft.
you should.
Well, that's
maybe you
that's
should
the thing, though.
get
They're
good,
trying,
Ryan.
they're trying to be a different kind of multiplayer game, and they can't do that by deliberately catering to the people who just want the same old thing. by compromising on their mechanics or their balance system.
They want to stick to their idea.
Yeah, hence why I wish where it didn't add anything to the actual score of the multiplayer, but at least it gave you
Well, if
something.
you want more
Yeah.
kill-happy matches, that's where ranked battle comes in because...
Yeah, I was going to ask, do you spend a lot of time in ranked battles as a result of that mindset?
Well,
Depends on my mood.
because ranked battle, you really, if you don't go for kill...
Well, the thing is, I want to win.
Oh no, ranked battle can be rough. Like I got myself to I think a rank B+ in ranked battle. I had a really bad losing streak, and I've been stuck on C- for like a good 2 weeks.
You talk about that, and Splatoon, for as happy-go-lucky and colorful as it looks, losing ranked battles is still just as soul-wrenching as losing a deathmatch in, say, Call of Duty or any other sort of realistic FPS, because you lose points when you lose matches, and to see your B+ or B- go back down to a C, or God forbid your A rank goes down to a B, you're crushed.
Well, the thing is that once you get up to the higher levels, playing ranked battles is really the only way to get money and experience quickly. Because if you win a ranked battle, especially if you get the higher rank you get, the more money you get for each win. You can get like a good $3,000 gold, whatever the hell they call the Splatoon currency.
Dollars.
Gold dollars. You can get like 3,000. You can get like 3,000 gold dollars a win once you get higher up.
3,000 squid.
3,000. I get it. But yeah, you get. But
I know you didn't come up with that, John.
What? No, I just thought of it. So
I've heard that
so
before.
Fuck you.
Well,
I've heard that before.
Okay, well, I'm not the only one who thought of it.
it's a play on quid.
Okay, fair enough.
It's a
Fair
play
enough.
on quid, so it's an obvious joke.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you get nothing. You get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir. If you lose in ranked battle though, so if you get on a losing streak, you feel awful because if you were playing standard turf war, you'd at least get pity points if you lost. So.
You fucking loser.
To be honest, I don't really care much for ranked battles or for glory matches or anything in any multiplayer game anymore. It's just not really worth.
Well, it's all ego stroking. That's what it is.
But it's not really worth it for me because the people that I'm ranking up against have a habit of being assholes, so I don't really care about playing with them.
And that's why this game has no voice chat feature.
This is why we can't have nice things. But most of the time, I'm not playing ranked battles just to stroke my dick. I'm playing it because I want a change of pace from turf war because there is no like casual splat zones mode, which I actually think they're apparently in August. So this might be out of date by the time this commentary comes out, or will be out of date very soon. But in August, they're doing an update to the multiplayer matchmaking so that you can do more things with friends easily, which is a complaint that I do have because if you want to play.
Which it should have been there in the first place.
I mean,
but whatever.
I'm glad that they at least announced that they were going to do this before the game came out in the Nintendo Direct, but still.
We're talking about a feature that's a default option in pretty much every other shooter out there.
Yeah, so if you want, you can play with friends, but you can't ensure that you're going to be on the same team with friends, or you're going to be on a different team with friends, or whatnot. All of that's supposed to be coming in August, which, great, it'll be there eventually. But it's kind of a bummer that it's not here now. I'm hoping that when that update comes out, that there'll be an option to play Splat Zones and Tower Control in that other mode that hasn't been released yet.
Did
casually.
they give some sort of explanation for why it wasn't already selectable?
I don't know if they gave an explanation. They just said coming in August we'll be doing a major update to the matchmaking, and you'll get all this stuff that you probably would have thought would have been in the beginning of the game to start with.
The script just says, please
Because
understand.
Nintendo does not know how to make shooters.
The script just says, please understand, repeat ad nauseum.
Yeah. The crowd loves it.
You're gonna wait. Oh, there's a footnote here. You're gonna buy it anyway.
Fuck, he's right. Because it's true. Nintendo fans will buy anything.
Well,
Actually, no, wait, that's not true. Federation
I'm going to
Force.
say that's not necessarily something that was true in this case, because this is a new IP.
It did sell over 1 million copies already, though. So
Yeah, it's a very interesting new IP, and it does have Nintendo's name behind it to give it some backing. But a new IP is always going to have some level of, difficulty in taking off. And I'm glad to see Splatoon has, overcome that hump, because, god damn it, Nintendo needs something to milk other than Mario.
Well, it's odd because last E3, Nintendo had a pretty big push for new IPs because there was Splatoon and there was also Codename Steam, which I personally enjoy. But Codename Steam sold like dirt, and everybody loves Splatoon, so it's just kind of interesting what decides.
Yeah, there had to be a sacrifice.
Codename Steam is also a genre that a lot of people don't get into.
It's a very niche game.
What is it?
It's a turn-based.
It's an
RTS that goes on a turn system. It's basically it's odd. It's a behind-the-back shooter structured like Fire Emblem.
Is it like Valkyria Chronicles?
That's the comparison I actually hear the most. Is Valkyria.
Yeah.
But it's Valkyria Chronicles, but you don't have the option to have an overview of your map, which means that positioning to see where the enemies are is very important.
I see.
Yeah.
Yeah. In between turns in Codename Steam, you get an overview of the battle.
No, you don't actually.
I think you meant this.
I mean in Valkyria Chronicles.
Valkyria Chronicles.
No, it's fine.
Codename Chronicles.
Yeah, but it is a good game. I'm gonna push it for a little bit. It is a good game. If you get it now, they actually did an update which allows you to fast forward through enemy turns, which people complained about. I didn't have too much of a problem with it. And also, if you're one of the 3 people who have Fire Emblem amiibos, you can put Marth in your team. So that's cool.
Oh yeah, I remember this. Each of the Fire Emblem amiibos adds a character to your party list.
I'll just wait for Fire Emblem Fates.
Yeah, but I'm wondering if for Codename Steam and Fire Emblem Fates, if because there is going to be a Roy amiibo, if they're going to add support for Roy into those games.
Oh hey, does every boss have those stupid little wobbly legs going on?
It's their brain.
Most of them do. All of them have the giant tentacle because that's their weak point. It's pretty standard Nintendo fare where you hit the guy in the weak point 3 times and then they die.
For massive damage, etc.
Yeah. I don't know why I see these bosses and I'm immediately reminded of how bosses were structured in Mario Galaxy 1 and 2.
Oh no, the entire game kind of has a Mario Galaxy feel, especially with the super jumping, which feels like the warp stars.
Yeah, I was getting that same sense. You're right.
Oh wait, no, warp stars is Kirby. The
Launch stars.
Launch stars, that's it.
Yeah.
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 Well, they probably use some of the same physics as far as programming that goes.
I think I'm sensing some subliminal take that's against Microsoft. These tentacles have green X's on their sides.
Well, you're probably right in that, Luce, because this game wasn't developed by the Mario Galaxy team, but it is in the same studio as EAD. I think is Miyamoto's little hub of Nintendo. I don't think I think he's just a producer on this though. So, but they probably
which is weird. Which is weird considering he probably. I think I read that he didn't like the game at first.
Well, Miyamoto doesn't like anything.
Miyamoto's job was, will it make me money? Yes.
Miyamoto is one of the most weirdly conservative video game developers I've ever seen.
Yeah.
He's really stuck in his ways. I love the guy, but goddamn, he's got some dated opinions on things.
Well, I think it's because his way has worked, well, for lack of a better word anyway, for the past 30 years.
I think the way it should, Miyamoto should be able to work on the games he's working on and should just shut up when it comes to everybody else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't need to come to every Christmas dinner.
Well, the thing about Miyamoto's views is that he looks at people who design games in other ways than the way he's used to designing them, and he just sort of turns his nose up at him, as in the video gaming industry doesn't need these people with these ideas.
And he's so heavily respected too that people will change what they're doing to make him happy.
Well, here's my thing though. He'll say that video games don't need a specific thing. I'll counter that by saying video games need fucking everything. They need as many different things as you can possibly get. Otherwise, you just play the same game over and over and it gets old. None of Miyamoto's stuff would matter if everyone was making Miyamoto's stuff. And that's kind of an ironic self-defeating aspect to his mentality.
Well, with Mario Maker, Miyamoto might just kind of like curl up into a corner and like wither away because there's going to be no more need for a 2D Mario game ever again.
I think what Lewis is trying to say that the only person that will ever take Miyamoto down is his evil twin.
Schmiyamoto.
Yeah,
no, it's like
no,
if
Yuji
everyone-
Naka.
If every game developer wherever were Schmiyamoto, then yeah, Miyamoto wouldn't matter anymore.
Yeah.
But-
And by the
but-
way, Schmiyamoto has the evil mustache. If we're going to talk about design here.
Now the Star Trek goatee.
Yeah. You know, the evil Spock. He has the goatee.
And no, the mustache has to be Wario's mustache if he's going to be a Schmiyamoto.
Why not both?
Yeah, why not both? There you go.
Well, I'm not trying to knock Miyamoto himself though, because what he does is really good, and in this day and age where other developers are more into the modern conventions, the games that Miyamoto puts out tend to have a very unique charm compared to everything else.
Yeah, it's just, when he says games don't need when he says that a Mario game doesn't need story, he's right. A 2D Mario game doesn't need story, but a Mario RPG sure as hell does. Fuck you for Sticker Star. No, I'm not going to let that go. Why did you ask? Anyway, but yeah, Miyamoto is Miyamoto, and I think, this game would have lost its unique identity if he had more input on it. So, because as far as
Thankfully, this is the first time I've heard of actually developers from Nintendo basically saying, "No, Miyamoto, you're wrong." Mind you, they still took his criticism to heart and trying to actually make the game more interesting or more fluid, but they basically said, "No, we're doing our own thing. We don't have to listen to everything you say."
Yeah, from what I've heard, that the team that made Splatoon is actually a relatively younger team when it comes to Nintendo, like
which Nintendo sorely needed.
Yeah, what you can kind of tell because this game is very kind of 90s.
I was gonna say, was the way the general direction, the art direction, the style of this game is because of the developers being so young, or is it a bunch of fucking 50 or 60-year-olds so woefully out of touch that they're trying too hard? You guys always bring up that Steve Buscemi picture.
Oh no, I've actually I was just gonna say there's a quote for the Boy Amiibos where it's just like, "All right, playa, like a boss," and then you see the Nintendo logo over Steve Buscemi's face. Hello, fellow kids.
How do you do?